It is Drive Safe once more with me, Benjamin Akapo. Thank you for joining me. The last time we were talking about car tires in terms of the markings on the tires and the purpose of car tires. We all know that, but didn't we learn quite a lot? Today we're going to learn even more as we take a look at the right type of car tire. And we'll also start with the thread markings on car tires, which will indicate to you when your tire is due to be changed. Sometimes you look at the tire and feel, oh, I can still go on with it, but no, you must change it. So we'll find out about all of that on today's segment of Drive Safe. So you think you know, check out today's road sign and whether you can guess what it means. All right, so at the tail end of today's segment, we'll find out what that road sign means. But let me come to Cecil Gabra, CEO of Top Tech Transport and Logistics. Always good to join you.
Thank you, Ben.
Right, so let's talk about, we're going back to car tires and we're focusing on them for quite a while. So before we get into the other bit about car tires, I want us to start with the thread markings. Walk us through that.
Okay, right. If you look at the LI 2180 to be specific, Regulation 62 talks about the tread limit of the tires, and a lot of people are having it wrong. Again, I'll go back to my half tie, which is just here. There are a lot of markings on the tire, but I'm talking about the tread. If you look at this tire, for instance, and then you get to the spare parts dealers, or you get to amshow kind, obviously, you tell the guy that, oh, if you have 3 more tires, please let me have it. But this tire that I'm holding is about 20-something years. But you see it's so fresh. How would you know, right? There is this indication where everybody must know, okay? If you look at this tire, it has this information, FGA 069. Forget about the FGA, but pick the last 3 or 4 digits at the end of the tire, and that gives you the manufacturer's date. For instance, this is 069. This tire was manufactured on the 6th week of the year 1999. I'll take that again. This tire was manufactured on the 6th week 1999. This is 3 digits. Remember the millennium issue, we had 3 digits and we went to 4.
Right.
So 4 digits will tell you that the tire was manufactured in 2000 and above. But if you look at this tire, it says 069, and I take that again. 6th week, that's the first 2 gives you the week, and then the last 2 is supposed to give you the year
so this
of manufacture.
Be the 2nd week in February
1999. And remember that you have to use a tie for a maximum period of 6 years, right, whether it is new or old. I quite remember those days when I was a little boy, my dad would go and buy the Firestone tie. I mean, ties were being manufactured in Ghana.
You've done that one before.
Yes.
Put it under the bed.
Under the bed.
To cook well.
Yes, to cook well. Also tie in the bin. And then that's what the whole issue is about. But it is so wrong. You buy the tie, you must use it. Now let's go to recent times, right? If you look on my laptop, it says 5105. It means this tie was manufactured on the 51st week of the year 2005. Right. Now next slide is even much more easier, okay? Last 4 digits, 4515. Remember the first 2 talks about the week,
right,
and then the last 2 talks about the year. So 4515 means this tie was manufactured on the 45th week of the year 2015. You have 6 years to use this tie.
Which means that for a tire like this in 2021,
yes, I don't want to use the word it's expired.
It's span.
It is, yes, it has got to its time. It is not expired. But this is what will happen. You start having cracks on the tie, okay, on the side walls of the tie. And that should tell you that any moment you are going to meet death.
Does this apply whether or not the tire has been used?
Yes.
So let's say it's still, you know how sometimes the tire may be that old, but you still have it in its packaging and everything. It's not even been used. Does it still apply?
Yes, it applies. 6 years. So you go to a shop, let's say in the UK, £100, £200, £300 for the same Michelin tire. Obviously, you go for the £100, but the wholesale or the seller will tell you that, look, this tire is getting to 1 year to 6 year period, which means that if you buy that tire, then you are going to be in trouble. So you go to the MOT test in UK, and then to be indicated that, gentlemen, your tire has got 1 year period for you to use it, and then you need to fix new tires for road safety purposes. Right. Mind you, I didn't mention that the tire has expired, but the tire manufacturer is saying use it within a period of 6 years. Right. And that is the issues that we have in our country. Now, the next thing that I'm going to talk about is the tread limit. And if you look at the LI 2180, to be precise, regulation 62 tells you that your tread limit on the tire must not be lower, I'm talking about lower so everybody will understand, than 1.6 millimeters. How would you know? Right. We have a lot of information on the tires. First of all, there is this notch in between the tires here, okay? If you can see it, right, this is the notch. Right. This notch is a 1.6 millimeter notch. Okay. So you buy a new tire, you will realize that the notch is buried in there. If you ask the taxi or truck driver, he'll tell you that, oh, this one, we see it, we need to remove it. When you go on your brakes, it will disturb, but it is there for a purpose. Now, how would you know? What I'm holding is the tread limit, the tread gauge. Okay, so if you go for a DVLA test, what happens is that you first of all calibrate it to 0 and put it in the tread. Now, this is measuring 1.9, which means it is good to go. Right. Now, you come to the side and then you measure it, it is 1.0. Which means that this tire has failed the test and you must not use it. So this is very important. If you don't have the gauge, you can use a coin and then put it in the tread, put a coin on a ruler, and then you get the information that you want. So never use tires that have the minimum tread of 1.6 millimeters. Remember, I said car tires are killers. So kill them before they kill you. How will you kill them? Just get 4 sets of brand new tires. Okay, and that is not expensive at all. If you buy the used tire, you keep on changing and you spend money on it. But if you buy the fresh tires, it will take you for a period of about 5 years, 6 years, depending on the usage of the tire.
When you go to these car tire sales people, they will tell you, oh, home use there, no one a bosu and no one a bechama. It's not true.
That is not true, and that is why we spoke about the manufacturer state. Use the tires within a period of 6 years. That is one. Check the treads and find out whether the tread limit have not been exceeded. It should be more than 1.6 millimeters. If it is lower than that, don't buy that tire. And I'm not saying home second-hand tires are not good. We can pick up some good ones from it. Okay, by getting the manufacturer state right, and then also getting the tread limits right. Now check for cracks. If you see any crack on the side walls, please don't buy the tire.
It's a no-no.
It's a no-no because the treads, what I'm holding is called a tubeless tie, okay? And then the tubeless tie must have the side walls intact. When you have any cut, then it means that you'll be in trouble. So car tires are killers, buy new tires, and then you'll be free.
So when he says car tires are killers, it's not that they will kill you, but if you don't follow the specifications and do the right thing, you just might end up killing yourself and maybe other people. But who wants that? Nobody. Thank you, Cecil, for joining us once more on Drive Safe. This is part 2 of car tires, and what we said we would focus on, the types and what to go for, will come your way in part 3. And the information just keeps coming and coming and coming. But before we wrap for today, how about we find out? So you think you know. Check out whether you got the road sign correct. And it's a wrap for another segment of Drive Safe with me, Benjamin Akatu. Stay with us, and next time we'll be talking further into car tires.